So my ongoing struggle with bark continues. I just got back from the camera store, picked up a couple things.
And where was your price kind of sitting? Just
so this is the building we're headed into today. It is a very long walk, so this is one of those things where I cannot forget anything, because if I have to come back to my truck to grab something, literally could take me about 15-20 minutes. I'm gonna over prepare just a little bit. I don't think I'll need much lighting because I can go off of the window lights that are already in there, but I am still gonna bring a little bit of lighting just in case. Bringing the small rig light that they sent me again. This thing is actually so small. It's like literally the size of a lunchbox, so that's nice. Bring my tripod, of course. Amaran tube light. Last but not least, we have the gimbal, which I think, okay, yeah, that'll set in there nicely. Okay, cool. That is the setup for today. Nothing crazy. So pretty much all I have to do today is some gimbal work. It's kind of a small event, he said. And then it's a couple interviews, if I'm not mistaken, which, looking at the building, there's tons of windows. So I may not even have to set up a ton of lighting or anything like that. In case you're wondering, this is the Gatorworks framework cart or something like that. I think it's called the Gator Frameworks cart. I love it. It's extendable too. So this is like half the length. It can actually extend out, but 9 times out of 10, I get away with it just being this size. And I got the all-terrain tires. Actually nice, kind of getting to be down here at this time of day. We are looking for the 9th floor. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm glad he happened to be at the front. Apparently it takes a card to get up the elevator, so that would have been annoying. But yeah, this cart is perfect. It fits in elevators, no problem. It's very easily maneuverable. I kind of like this better than like the double deckers most people have.
9th floor.
How you doing? Good. Here for today little event. This is what we've been given today. So it's pretty small. So right here you have kind of like your nice Dallas skyline and stuff. So let me get camera up and we'll go from there. So my ongoing struggle with bark continues. I reached out to a guy yesterday. They have a shoot this Saturday. I called him, you know, he wanted to pay me like $400 for my half day. I said I like my half day is $700. And I pretty much just kind of stood my ground on it. And he came back and said, you know, we can do it. We'll take the hit. We want to work with you. We have a lot of consistent work that's coming in Dallas. We don't have anybody in Dallas. So yeah, I mean, I got the job for Saturday, which is nice. It's an extra $700, but if it's ongoing, that would just be phenomenal. Once again, bark continuing to show up whenever the 12th hour hits. I didn't even know I had credits left. I saw his thing come up yesterday. It looked halfway decent. Typically what I'm learning is it's kind of based off the description that they give. And I think a lot of my problem before is I was just taking anything and everything. Like I was just applying to all of them. And a lot of them, you know, there's just people who just aren't serious. But I'm learning it's all in the description. So pay attention to what they say. And basically if they don't have any kind of informative description talking about kind of like what the shoot is supposed to be and when it is and stuff, I just ignore it now. I don't even give it the time of day. So now I'm gonna try and see something. I wanna see if this 99 watt battery powers this. I don't know why, but it's flashing OP, if you can see that. Oh, now it's 91. Okay, so it looks like 40 to 50% is what the light will power on one of these 99 watt small rig batteries. That's the new light that Small Rig sent me. So 99 watt will power it up to about 40-50%. This room is tiny, bro. After this, I am going to the camera store. There's a camera store right up the road, and I'm gonna buy the light dome, but the mini one, because in this situation, this is a huge room. This is gonna be kind of tough to work with. So, with this being a 220, and I'm trying to fight that window, we are gonna see if I made a mistake and should have brought the 300. Obviously I'm facing the sun, which means I have to stop down, but it's picking up the tinting that's on this window, and it's because of my ND filter. If I take the ND filter off, you can't see it or whatever, but then I can't stop down enough without shooting like 1/400. So now it's a clean image. but I'm at 1/320 at 5.6, which looks unnatural. It's not often I get to use this camera much anymore, but it's been working out pretty good. I forgot how much I hate the Atomos Shinobi monitor. The colors are so inaccurate. It just crushes the shadows, it blows out the highlights. You can't literally trust it too much. But the reason I went with this setup today is because I do have some gimbal stuff that I might be doing. I might not have to do it, but I just wanted to be able to pull this off of here and go straight to there. I asked before I made that decision if they wanted it on the A7S III or the FX6. They said they didn't care. The A7S III was just fine, so that is why I chose to do that today. Just makes load in and load out a little bit easier. That wasn't too bad. I think my mistake was bringing that small rig light whenever I had a feeling I was gonna have to overpower the sun. I think that was just like not the best idea. Got a little too overzealous with it. So wish I would have brought the 300 in. That would have helped a decent amount. But once I moved the scene away from the window and flipped it around, it was fine. Not the most beautiful scene in the world. The client was happy, and I ended up texting the guy who hired me and told him, you know, I just kind of showed him, and he said he liked the outside scene better. And then I just kind of let him know, like, well, you know, I did show the client both options, and he did like this. He said it looked a little bit more on the scholastic side, which is what they are. They're like an education program. And so the guy who hired me basically just came back and said, well, if he's happy, I'm happy. So I agree with that response. I think it's all about making sure the client's happy. I think if I would have brought the 300 in, I wouldn't have been in a situation to second guess myself, because I think it would have been just enough to kind of power the scene I was trying to create. I just got back from the camera store, picked up a couple things. One of the things I've been wanting to get for a while is the spotlight attachment for the 300C. So I got the 19-degree one. Been wanting this for a minute. I have found a lot of use in it, especially after using it at the studio not long ago. There's just so much you can do to make a wall or something bland have some life to it. So I wish I would have had it today, because that'd have been very helpful on that wall. I went ahead and picked up the DJI Mic 2 with the hot shoe adapter. Just been wanting to upgrade those mics for a hot minute, mainly for the 32-bit float. That's one of the biggest things I've wanted. And then this was just such an additional no-brainer. I think this is such a good addition. One less cable to have to worry about. I don't have to worry about a cable going out or anything like that, so that's nice. And then I grabbed one of the Lavalier Go from Rode. I know it's like not top of the line, you know, when it comes to whatever, but I think it's still a good upgrade from the DJI Lav mic that I have now. I have the Light Dome Mini 2. This is the one I've used for a long time. The problem is this was way when I was inexperienced, and one of these knuckles right here, I broke it because I didn't know the best way to do these, and I didn't realize that you had to take the tension off and then you would pop the knuckle in. So I used to just force them in and ended up breaking it. So now it's kind of stuck like this, and it's very, very annoying because it's just in the way all the time. It's very hard to store. Saw that they had the Amaran Light Dome SE. So it is like the older ones where you pop the knuckles, but these feel like they have been way updated. It's very, very smooth, and that's how big it is. Really not that big. So it's about the same size as the Light Dome Mini 2. Now, this is not something I would be using a ton, but it's just something that's nice to have for when I'm in tighter spaces. I will say, and that's kind of a bummer, doesn't look like it came with a honeycomb, so that kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. And then to put it back, it's just these little knuckles here, and you just push those. So to any company watching this, can we please stop the useless, packaging everything? I just feel like this is so much waste. When you're doing this for thousands of products. Both of these were in their own piece of plastic. I'm gonna take it out of the plastic and put it in the case. And yep, just like the other ones, they just auto instant connect. So love that feature. One thing that I cannot stand that they did, or the magnets used to be black, and now they've added this DJI logo. Now you've just got this DJI logo, and I can't stand that. So theoretically, you just take the hot shoe, put it in there like normal, and then now there's something on the screen basically indicating right here that is really nice to basically just be completely cableless. It's one less cable. See, I applaud Amaran for their packaging because it comes in this styrofoam case and then pretty much no fluff. I'm excited about this. I think this will be a good addition, and I might actually get to use it tomorrow on tomorrow's shoot. If that goes through, I'm still waiting to get confirmation. The Rode mic that I got versus the DJI mic. This might be hard to see. This one is the DJI mic. I mean, just look how much bigger that thing is. This Rode mic is supported by a lot more accessories, things like the bumblebees. It's a lot easier to hide. It's a beautiful, gloomy day today. Perfect for staying home and playing video games. But I got that shoot today, esports shoot. I was supposed to have it last week, but it got rescheduled to this week. Kind of like the last esports shoot. I can't really show much because it's a secret announcement that's being filmed, obviously. So I'm not able to show anything until after the shoot takes place. I've got two Instagrams. I have the LensofJared Instagram page, which is my personal stuff, or maybe it'll just kind of be some different projects. That's typically where I'm most active. That's where I'm talking to people and whatnot. And then I have the Film Club Productions Instagram page. Both of these will be linked down below if you want to follow. But the Film Club Production is where a lot of the bigger stuff will go. Anything that I handle that's obviously like production, I guess. But once this video is announced, I will definitely be posting things about this shoot on that page. But I will try to show as much as I can today. If you've been around the channel for a minute, you've seen this place quite a few times. Honestly, such a good studio for the esports stuff. It's like the only one that's close that has like all blackout like this. And then they have the lasers and stuff, so. Only shooting one player today, so it shouldn't be too much work. I think we'll get out of here in like an hour and a half or so. It's also kind of nice that I can just kind of focus on one person. I'm gonna be messing with the spotlight attachment today by trying to use it on his eyes. So being able to kind of cut out slashes and stuff and just show off the eyes or the logo or whatever is kind of the purpose of this, which is also why I pulled the trigger on it when I did. This looks really cool with just the smoke and stuff. Obviously we'll kill a lot of the top lights and stuff.
Under the same kind of camera systems, and the roles that I'm looking to fill is essentially like a B-roll operator, and then also kind of like a bit of a jack of all trades, almost like elevated PA, who I can just trust to kind of go and do stuff as and when it's needed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And where was your price kind of sitting, just to know?
If I'm being totally real with you, dude, it was sitting around the 700-800 mark per day.
Okay. But it's, I mean, yeah, I mean, I won't argue too much since it is 4 days. I don't do half days. I don't know if that's a kicker for you. Okay, yeah, I don't really do half days. On the low end, my day rate's like 1,100, and that's like showing up with a camera and stuff. But, you know, if it's 4 days of whatever, then yeah, we can definitely have a conversation on that. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that. It sounds like a cool event. I love Mitch, so being able to work with Mitch would be dope. And do you know when you'd be confirming this? Because it kind of, like, I've got to shoot the very next week in January. Just trying to like have an idea of like when to put it on the calendar.
We kind of end up next week at the latest.
Sweet. And then like obviously I can help with the logistics of picking things up. I've got a truck, so I've done that before. If I need to pick things up for people, I can definitely, we can handle that, or we can get somebody to do that. Shout out Mitch. This is Mitch. Go follow him on Instagram. He is the one that sent the job along to the group, and I reached out via email. The guy got back with me, so hopefully I can be an asset to him and he can be an asset to me. That was a pretty fun shoot. Like I say, the esports stuff is really fun because I get to be more creative. It's not like corporate-y or whatever, so they basically just let me run loose. So I got to play with the spotlight attachment a lot, and I will show these off in the next couple weeks after they announce this player, and I can like start showing some stuff, because it was just like the spotlight was perfect, and I wish I could showcase kind of like why it was perfect and like what I did with it. But I'll definitely show those off on Instagram and stuff as soon as I possibly can. I got confirmation for the shoot on Saturday, so I do have that. It's for a construction company that's breaking ground. I believe they're building a car wash. So definitely one of my favorite things to film is documentary stuff. Like I've been wanting to find like an independent documentary, somebody to follow. And I've really been wanting to target something in the cowboy kind of, you know,
ballpark. The company RopeSmart is a company I've worked with for a very long time. They have a stacked roster of team ropers, and I believe the one that is interested in me following him around is the one who won the NFR last year. So I called the guy who owns RopeSmart. I've worked with him for a long time, and basically he was like, yeah, let's do it. He was like, I'd love to fly you out to Vegas and get you into the NFR as best I can, have you follow him around, follow some of the other ropers around, and just kind of show off a day in the life stuff, because he was like, no one else is doing it. So somebody made a great comment on one of my videos recently, and it was when I was talking about bark, and I was talking about how I don't think it's worth it, even though I showed the numbers and showed that I was profitable by a few $1,000s through bark. And he basically was saying that a lot of my negative opinion came from what's called recency bias, which I have heard of before, but completely forgot about. And he makes a great point. In the last 30 days or whatever from when I was making that video, it was just like failure after failure, you know, people just not answering or not getting the job. It's also aligned with me raising my prices. So it was just kind of like one of those things where I think I was a little wrong to try to dissuade people as much as I did to not go with bark. The numbers obviously don't lie. Numbers never lie. And even the shoot that I'm headed to right now, where I'm making, you know, my half day rate, working for literally about 2 hours, I got it through bark. I've never built out the gimbal rig before. Today I decided, because it's gonna be outside and whatnot, to kind of build it out. It's a bit jank. It is a top handle on the NATO rail that's built in, and then I have the monitor, and then it's being powered by the 50-watt small rig V-mount battery. This battery is super useful for this, because I didn't think that I could put a V-mount battery on this camera and balance it. It's the RS2, but worked out great. Stuff like this can be hard because it's kind of just people talking, fighting the sun. Thankfully the sign is here so I can kind of play around it, keep my exposure proper. I do like this gimbal setup. The monitor makes it easy to kind of get in and out of the way. The cable's perfect length. I might stick with this for a little bit if I use this gimbal more. Also, I've always had problems with the color in this monitor. I forgot I have no idea where I got it from, but a LUT called monitoring LUT, and this is like almost properly exposed. So maybe the LUTs I was using was why everything looked horrible. Because if I use this LUT like I usually do, where's it at? This one? It looks terrible. Got to get some interviews now, so I'm gonna go get the new DJI mic, and I can use the hot shoe today, kind of test that whole thing out, see how that's gonna work. But then after this interview, probably should only have to get a couple more pickup shots of them kind of like eating and drinking some stuff, and then yeah, that's a gig down. It hasn't even been an hour since I've been here, and we're almost done, so not bad. I actually forgot the whole kit minus the mic, so never mind, I'll have to use the hot shoe mount later. Tell us what we're out here doing today. And you can kind of talk to the camera or me, it doesn't matter.
Today we are out here for the groundbreaking ceremony of the Pappy's Express Car Wash. This is our second location. We're currently in.
Great. Easy. Nothing too crazy.
To it, yeah. That's right. Not scripted, you know, just.
No, I hate and most of the time I'm telling you, people stutter and mutter when you give them a script. All right. Well, that was not too bad. I feel like an idiot. I left my hot shoe at home. Pretty much that whole kit was left at home. But I still recorded it internally in case they need it 1 and 2. I just kind of want to test out the 32-bit float. And I was able to test out the new lav mic that I got. So hopefully it sounds good. I really need to get better about bringing headphones with me so I can listen.
This is a congregation. This is the conversation.